Thanks, Melissa. Top Talkers. Today we're talking about the gender gap, and there's a big one still, according to a new report. My panel today includes Melanie Adams from Bob FM, Katherine Dines from Majic 100, and our own Kurt Stoodley joining us as well.
The only guy.
All right, so apparently there is still a huge gap in income equality, in politics, and according to this report, it's going to take some 200 years to close.
Won't be here when that happens.
Neither will I. Neither will our children or grandchildren.
I might still be on this show, actually.
that is possible. Is this surprising to you, Katherine, that there's still quite a huge gap between men and women in the workforce?
No, but I've got a leash on my tongue right now, because when I read this morning, I immediately wanted to hear my daughter's reactions. I have 14 and 10-year-old daughters, and my 14-year-old looks at me with all her teenage sass and says, "Praying mantis." That's her answer, praying mantis, and I'm like, okay then, yeah.
I'm sure that means something.
Yes, it does. Just Google the praying mantis. I think that we do it to ourselves. I honestly believe that women.
How so?
Because articles like this, we keep writing them and we keep that perception alive. And women, I mean, the Dove beauty sketches that recently came out. All about, you know, how women undervalue, we devalue ourselves in everything.
But is it just harder to get into these positions? In this article, they talk specifically about politics. And although we have 6 female premiers in this country right now, up on Parliament Hill, there's only 25% in the House women representatives. Is that far too low still, Mel?
Well, I mean, it depends. Is it low because women aren't applying or aren't running for the jobs? I mean, you can't, it's not like there's an equal, you know, you don't have 50 men and 50 women and they're picking mostly men. There are fewer women running for these jobs. So, I mean, if there's fewer of someone trying to do something, there will be fewer.
There are a lot of women who want to put their focus on their family, raising their families.
Right.
And it is challenging to balance that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And there isn't anything wrong with that, but you can't force them to go into these jobs that require 24/7 maintenance. They want to be able to look after their families too.
What's your take, Kurt?
It is surprising to me in a way, and a little disappointing, to be honest with you, that you know, there is such a gap. And the gap is just not a marginal one. It is a big gap. Overall in Canada, if you put it all together, something like 28% in the difference between men and women's wages. I personally don't understand it. And you know, to me, the job you do and how you get paid for it, it should be based solely on your experience, your ability to do the job, the talent you bring to that job. Gender should have nothing to do with it.
Well, I mean, you and I could take a step toward fixing that right now. You could just take the amount of your salary that you make more than mine, and we'll even it out.
There you go, sister.
You know what? Look at
Good
this.
luck to
We're
you.
fixing the country.
I think you might be taking on more debt than anything else.
You got that right.
It's golfing season. We know how that works. We just had a board up, and I just want to, if we can, just reference the numbers there that we had. And it talked about earnings, and it said that our average hourly earnings there at the bottom for men is $25.99. For a woman, it's $22.78. So there is a difference there. Are we just not fighting hard enough as women to get that $25.99?
But how do you fight harder?
Well, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe you deserve it. You have to go in and say, hey, I need to make as much as a guy does.
That means diddly bo diddly to the boss when you're going in there.
Well, if you put out the right energy and you put on the right face and you go negotiate.
Does it start then at the top that companies need to change the way they look at the situation, where if they're going to hire a man and hire a woman to do the same job, they should make the same amount of money?
Okay, can you explain to me why it is? Like why initially, right from the get-go, men get paid more than women? Is that something that employers have in their mind?
I think we're going back decades to when men were
decades, we're going back centuries.
When men were in the jobs and women were not.
But do we know it specifically for the same job? Like, do we have a woman working job A and the man working job A, and he's making? I mean, in that case, I call bull.
Who's willing to make more sacrifices in general in life?
Well, there's no question, still in today's society,
I'm sure
we
you
still
think
have
it's women.
probably more women.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that?
Because women are still at home raising the family?
I've made sacrifices in my career, and I deserve to get paid for it, don't I?
I'm not saying you don't deserve to get paid for it, but I
you
think
overall, I get paid more because I'm a man?
Yes, I do. And I think overall,
I think you're wrong.
I think I'm not wrong.
No,
See, I'm
otherwise, why
having a
would we
hard
be
time
talking?
fighting for my point
he's
here.
paying now.
Yeah.
It's okay.
What about politics? I mean, what about the angle of politics? Do you think a woman could represent us just as better, if not better, than a man?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Women
Probably
care,
even better.
women care more about being liked, though. And you can't
that's a
care
good
about
point.
that.
Yeah, you got
That's a
a
good
point
Can't care
point.
about that in politics.
There is an article here, in the article that we've been referencing this morning, in this report, it suggests that one of the ways women would get involved into politics more is if there was greater family care, a way that they
Yes.
could take care of their family,
Yes.
more flexible hours.
Yes.
The fact that being a member of parliament involves a lot of travel, time
Yes.
away from a family, something women just aren't willing to sacrifice.
But, and I'm going to get so many emails about this. Should we be changing the job's hours and what the job offers just to make
To accommodate
a person
women?
of a certain gender apply for a job? Like there was one make the parliamentary session shorter. Well, they can barely do what they need to get done.
How
in the
can they
session
make it any
have.
shorter?
Right, like, and I'm all for anybody can be a politician. I don't care what goes on down there. But I mean, I don't want the job changed to make it easier for other people.
Yeah, but
if
I think
it's going to damage
I think
the
we
job.
have to start looking at different ways to do the job too, though. And you need to be in the community. You need to be connected to your constituents. You need to be out in the people, not just fighting in Parliament. You know what I mean? Like that's baloney.
Yeah, but I think you're looking
We gotta
at.
go, folks. We gotta get going. It's a good topic, and although
wasn't
Kurt's been
quite done.
outnumbered today, he's done well holding his own against three strong women, I
Poor
might
guy.
say.